Welcome to Pixel Composer 1.19.2 beta. So this version have quite a lot of new nodes. Actually, I didn't expect to add many nodes, and also a number of new features as well. So let's take a look. The first is the new MK cable. It's a node that will generate just cable, right? You control the first point, second point. You can also use other part as well. You can use part data, you can use point array. You control all the property, the gravity, the tension. And on the same idea, we also have MK grass, which as the name suggests, just go grass. It has different grass shapes you can choose. And we have all the other property you can use to control the size, the distribution. And we have a parallax. Normally you would need to use the camera node for that, right? Which does all the parallax stuff. However, it can be a little bit difficult to use because camera also have a bunch of other features as well. So we have a node just for parallax effects. So you only have to control the speed of the parallax. Next we have a 2D extrude node, which allow you to create this long shadow effect. You just define the angle and the distance, or you can use the control gizmo for that. You can also change the color. You can also have it clone the color from the original surface. In this case, it's just white. You can also give it a special highlight. So it's just gonna be a 1 pixel line that separates between the shape and the shadow. Then we have the spiral part, which will take the part data and then convert it to a spiral, where you can set the frequency, the amplitude of the spiral. You can control the amplitude over the length of the part. In this case, I just make it so that it's a curve like this. And the second node I'm talking about here is a ribbon. So this is similar to the draw line node. The difference here is the draw line will draw a uniform line across the entire curve, but the draw ribbon will only draw like a one-directional curve. Think of it as like a calligraphy brush. Then we have surface empty. This one is very simple. It just takes a surface and then tell you if the surface is completely empty or not. Next, this one is quite advanced and it probably will break a lot of things, is the ability to control the frame of the node directly. So when you go to any node, you go to the setting panel, you're gonna see a new toggle called render frame input, and if you enable it, you're gonna have this new input called render frames. We have this basic animation, very linear animation. Then I have this evaluate curve node that will output a number based on this curve. And now if I connect the curve to the render frames, you're gonna see that the animation are now using the frame number based on this node instead of your animation frames, right? So it overrides the current frame that the animation is running at. Now this will not work with like cache node, for example, because cache node will based on the cache number, which only work with decimal values. It will also not work with the simulation node as well. So be careful when using this. Then we have a number of new dynamic drawer. And we have a new update to the MK4 and MK rain. So MK4 now have a new surface input so that you can use surface as a leaf texture. And MK rain now allow you to set the ground area where the rain will collide with the ground, and there's an option to draw to render a ripple as well. Then there are an improved algorithm in the part for mask node. So you can improve in both performance and the output. So it should look a little bit nicer and it should work with more surface. But the active canvas node also got a number of improvements as well. We have an improvement on the visual so that you can see the brush and the orientation of the brush. There's a new jittering properties so that you can randomize the position, the rotation, the scale, and the color of the brush. And there's an option to rotate the brush by the direction. And MK tile also got an improvement, mostly on user interface side of things. You now see that the enum button are now clear on what it does. And there's an option to disable the inner edge per each side. And then we have user interface improvement. First is a tunnel. When you rename a tunnel, you can now hold Control, then press Enter to rename all the tunnels that are connected to it. And we have quite a lot of improvement in the animation panels. First, the graph view can now be adjust the height. You can now adjust the value directly in the graph view itself. So you can drag up or down. You can press R to repeat the keyframes, and you can press D to distribute the keyframe or to redistribute the keyframes. And there's a new tool called envelope keys, which will allow you to create envelope, adjust the amplitude of the keyframes. In this case, just to make a bouncing animation. And as usual, we have a series of bug fixes in this version showing on the screen. And yeah, this version have a lot of like miscellaneous feature that I think it's pretty neat. So I have been thinking about come back and start working on more video tutorial again. I think the next one is probably gonna be about MK tile. Especially this project, I think it have a bunch of nodes and feature that could be interesting to show. So we will see about that. But yeah, that will be all for today's video. So thank you everyone for watching. Special thanks for all the Patreon supporters, and see you in the next one.